Everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Little by Little Show. This show is here to show you that you are not broken, that you are in power of your life. This episode's guest is Jordy Toribio, a 23-year-old with the mission of becoming the modern day gentleman and to inspire other young men to do the same. He's inspired to better the world by bettering himself. JT, how are you doing, man? How's everything?
Good, bro. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, and I hope the audience enjoys this podcast. I feel like it's gonna be a good
Okay.
one.
It's gonna be good, man. I'm excited. How's your day been? How's the start of the week?
It's been going good. I just got home from a workout, so I've been
Perfect.
testing out the new uh full body. I've been doing full body workout like 3 times a week to see how it's going, and it's going pretty good. How about you?
Perfect.
How's it going?
Everything's amazing. I got done with a back shoulder workout this morning. Had some breakfast, rushed to start the meeting.
Great.
So I have a couple questions ready for you. You let me know if you want if you're ready to roll. We're gonna start with your
Do
story. Is
it.
that cool?
Let's do it. Before, what did you eat?
All
Some
right,
steak?
man. Huh?
What did you eat? Some steak?
Nah, I can't have steak for breakfast, man. I can't, my mom's a little bit vegan, so
Oh,
it's
uh,
it's it's not the easiest to get steak for breakfast. I did have like a big sandwich with with eggs, smoked salmon, a couple of like veggies and fruits. It was good. It was heavy. It's gonna keep me occupied for the podcast. So
nice.
JT, let's start. What's your story? What got you to the journey that you are in today?
That's a good question. The story is me literally not knowing anything about this side of the world to knowing it out of the blue. For my whole life, I was basically living life with no purpose, no meaning, doing what everyone else was doing, like going to school. I went to college for like 1, 2 semesters and I dropped out. So I went to school, drinking, smoking, late nights, porn, all these, degenerate things. And I think at 21, I'm 23 now. At 21 years old, I learned about self-improvement and personal growth and entrepreneurship and this world that I was like so surprised at because I didn't know about it. I didn't even know what self-improvement was. So
Yeah.
I told you last time it was kind of like the pattern in the red
Mhm.
carpet. Once I started seeing life like that from the first time, I just couldn't unsee it. I just felt I've always been a person that has has liked learning. Like I feel like that's been my gift from I was born. I've been a student of life from the beginning. And I think that's why I gravitated towards this lifestyle more of self-improvement, personal growth. So yeah,
Love
I
it.
think
What
where I
introduced
come
you
from,
into self-improvement?
it was actually one of my friends. He showed me an ad of Lopez.
Oh wow, that's a crazy way to
Yeah,
get there.
yeah. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs got
Hmm.
introduced to this style through him. He's a legend for sure. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I think he's a legend. But yeah,
So
it was like that. It was through an ad, bro.
love it. And now you're here. JT,
Now we're here.
another question for you related to this. Are you here to teach something to the world, maybe spread a message or get people to be conscious of something? If so, what is it?
I think the message that my whole brand and what I try to make my life about is you can't really change the world. You can't really do much in a world of 8 billion people, but you can slightly make it better by
Mhm. Of
bettering yourself because inspiration creates action takers. If people see you getting better, it inspires them to want to do it for themselves.
course. And that's how we change. I love that, man. I want to touch with self-improvement, man. The big one. So you're very deep in this kind of like self-improvement niche. So from what you learned, how do you think someone starts? If they were in the position that you were a couple years ago, where do you think, from what you've learned in 2 years, someone could start?
Um, you mean what, by step, what pillars to go after, or like just in
Maybe,
general?
yeah, maybe step by step. I mean, we're going to talk about strength training, diet, making money, being the student of life. Um, But where do you think, what's the first step someone takes to take control of their life?
I think the first steps is to remove your old identity. that
Mm,
comes that goes to clothing, the people that you hang out with, the habits that you're doing, all this stuff, all these things that because self-improvement requires you to change into a whole different person, and it requires you to leave your old self in the past. So I think maybe you should start there. Also start asking yourself what it is that you want out of this life. What's your goals? Where are you trying to go? What vision do you see for yourself? And I would say immediately start taking action. Start taking action on whatever it is you want to do. You first need of the direction, right?
of
You need
course.
you need to know where you want to go and what you
Goal.
want to do, and after comes the vehicle. So I think that's first things first. Just figure out the questions internally of what you want out of this life.
Love it, man. So strength training. What has your journey been like in this world of strength training or going to the gym for self-improvement?
Yeah, so I've been going to the gym for about 2 to 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the first year that it has been really consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, it's taken me like 2 to 3 years to like get to the physique. And I'm not in a physique where I want to be. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm also not where I used to be. I do feel myself getting stronger, getting leaner, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I think that was the first thing that I started doing when I started self-improvement, personal growth, because I always say, if you don't care about your body, you won't care about anything. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And if you want a strong mind, which is needed for self-improvement, entrepreneurship, success in general, you need a strong body because it starts there. So yeah, that's pretty much the journey. A bunch of failures, a bunch of different testing different workouts,
Of
experimenting
course.
different diets, and yeah, we're here. It's brought me to where I'm at now.
Love it, man. Why do you think it's so important to go to the gym and separate the body from the mind? And how did you get started? Where did you start to see that maybe this is the first step to take control of your life? Or where did you hear or know that going to the gym was going to change your life?
First things first, I think it's important because health is wealth. If you don't, I think between one, so we have two people right here. One person is successful, one person is not successful. I don't think this person is smarter, stronger. Sometimes that person is right, stronger, smarter, whatever. But usually, what it comes down to how well your operating machine works, which is aka right your body. So that's what I think. That's why I think is very important. Whatever success you want in your life, it's going to start with how well you operate internally.
Mhm.
As far as the second question, how I started, uh,
Yes.
I got lucky. I had a cousin that does bodybuilding and stuff, so I started with him. I actually didn't start by myself. Starting by yourself, I can get that is intimidating. So I got lucky in that sense where I had somebody to go with and learn from the beginning. I had a mentor in some sense.
Love it, man. Yeah, I think accountability and help starting in the gym is something that's completely a
100%.
game changer
Yeah.
going into the gym because it's so new. It's a completely different world for someone who doesn't know what it is.
Right.
So I want to touch on diet now. You've talked about going when you were a kid going through an incurable eczema. How did you
Yeah.
fix that? Fix that? Was it through the diet?
It had to be, bro, because
Of
this is
course.
the only time like I've had it for basically all my life, and even now, like I still break out when I eat certain things. When like
Mhm.
the other day, I was experimenting with whole milk because we don't have raw milk in the states. So whole milk is pasteurized and all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's heated, and
Mhm.
I started drinking it with dark chocolate at night just as a snack, and I started breaking out like in my shoulders and my chest. So immediately I know it's based off of what I eat and the things that I put in my body. As far as how I cured it, I just eliminated a lot of the things that I eat. I don't eat seed oils anymore. If I do, it's probably like once a month or so. Um, Dairy, like I think I'm lactose intolerant, and I think the only dairies that work with my body is like raw dairy or grass fed dairy. Um, and I just eat meat. I know that Jordan Peterson, you know him.
Yeah, of course.
He's really big on the carnivore diet, and I
Mhm.
think he has a client that cured autoimmune condition with
Mhm.
strictly. So I think that's been the biggest factor for me, just eating meat and eliminating all these other things that are supposed to be healthy. One of them is vegetables, which is probably a big cause for autoimmune.
Hmm.
Uh, I know it's going to be a controversial one. Oh, you don't eat veggies, blah, blah, but
A controversial one, but it's an important one. I think a lot of
yeah,
people are not aware how many defense chemicals
right.
veggies have, and not only that, how many pesticides are used on them today. Uh,
Yeah,
where do you
exactly.
source your meat? Where do you get it from? What are you looking for when you go for meat?
I just go to like a big chain like Whole Foods or Aldi's. They usually have grass fed
Hmm.
steak. So that's kind of what I eat every day. My diet is just steak, eggs, fruit, honey, maple syrup, white rice, and potatoes. That's usually what I eat every day.
Love it,
And
man.
my eczema just magically went away.
Love it.
And
Not only
it's
did your eczema disappear, but you're feeling 1,000 times better.
100%, 100%. The strength in training is through the roof.
Of
Sex
course.
drive through the roof. Mental clarity, mood, energy, everything is literally up. It's an amazing diet. I would recommend everybody try it.
Yeah. Do you supplement on anything? Do you use any type of supplements or uh maybe do you use some type of like lion's mane for your workouts? Or is there something extra you add to your diet from supplements?
I just recently started supplementing. I was never using supplements before. I just kind of used the diet,
Hmm.
but I recently started. I used one supplement. People probably know him as Gregor Gallagher. He's like this big fitness guy. He
Hmm.
sells two supplements. The Mojo, which is a testosterone booster, and it has Tonkat Ali, boron,
Oh,
zinc, magnesium, and all these different things. And then it's all natural ingredients. So I'm all natural. And then he sells another one for blood flow circulation, a better
mhm.
room performance, and that's vitamin C extract, all these different things. It's just natural herbs and yeah, it's just that's the only thing I take. And
Love it.
recently just taking that.
Love it. Someone starting their journey through this like diet changing journey, where do you think they should start to so they can take control of their diet and to create their optimal diet? Where do you think someone starts?
Yeah, so I said this in the YouTube video that I uploaded a couple days ago. I think with time, at the beginning, you're not gonna immediately know what diet works for you. With time, that comes the more you test, the more you experiment. But the first thing that anybody should do when trying to take control of their health and diet is just eliminate processed foods
Of course.
and make sure their diet is 90% whole foods. Obviously, 10% you want to have fun, whatever, but
Yeah.
90 to 95%, just make sure it's whole foods and healthy food.
What do you do
That
to have
that's
fun
usually
with your diet?
say it again.
What do you do to have fun with your diet? What's your cheats? What's your guilty pleasure?
Uh, bro, honestly, I don't have like I'm lucky. I don't really have a sweet tooth or any of that,
Huh.
but I do like sometimes fast foods call my name, like
Oh wow.
fries and all these different things. But I try to stay away from it because I eat like
Hmm.
the thing about the carnivore diet is that it's fun. It's
Hmm.
salty because you're eating a lot of salt, you're eating a lot of red meat, butter, eggs, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So sometimes I don't really crave sugar cravings. Like
Love it.
I
Yeah.
know Dr. Huberman, he says if you're craving sugar is because you don't have enough salt in your diet. So anytime that I'm craving like sugar or anything, I just dump a lot of salt in whatever I'm eating.
No, and you've removed processed foods from your diet, so you no longer crave it through there, which is
Yeah,
lovely. It's amazing.
100%, 100%.
Love it, man. I wanna touch on making money now. From that video that you mentioned, you've recommended folks starting an online business because you said it gives you three freedoms: time, location, and financial. Why
Right.
should someone be looking at these?
Um, I think to truly be free in life, you need all three. People only focus on financial freedom, and that's fine. Like having financial freedom, being able to buy whatever you want, not stress about bills, etc. You need that, but you also need location freedom because we all saw what happened with COVID. You were kind of stuck where you were and you couldn't leave because of your job or whatever. But if you did have location freedom, you could have just booked your flight and gone to anywhere in the world and work from anywhere in the world. So
Of
you
course.
need to not feel stuck where you are because not feeling stuck is freedom. If you're stuck, you don't really have freedom. So you need location freedom and then time freedom. You don't want to be consumed in whatever you're doing 100% of the day or 100% of the time. You want to operate with systems that's running without you. You want to be able to work on your business and not in your business. You know, freedom is not being a slave. And if you're slaving in your business all day, then you don't really have freedom, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think you need all three. I actually learned this from Iman Gadget. He's a famous entrepreneur. He's kind of the one that taught me and a lot of people this
Yeah.
concept.
No, I love that guy. What's your experience in this realm? What has been maybe the biggest takeaway from that journey?
For what? For the three freedoms?
Yes, from making money online, maybe an online business. Do you have any experience there?
Yeah, I don't I have experience, but as far as like the trouble, that's a good question. I don't know because it's something that I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey with everyone else. Like I said this in the YouTube video. I think my channel is cool is because everything I'm learning, I'm kind of going through everything with you. So I'm still trying to get financial freedom. I'm still trying to get location. I'm still trying to get all three as well. But I know that that's what I'm striving for. And because
Oh,
I know that's what's needed, you know, I'm gonna tell everybody else to, hey, like this is what I see the top dogs doing. So
yeah,
they're doing something right. You
of
know, we're learning
course.
from them. So
JT, I appreciate it. I want to touch on something that I've been really wanting to touch with you, which is being a student of life. What does that
right.
mean?
That means never stop learning, no matter how big or how far you get.
I
You're
love it.
learning all the times.
Hmm.
I think the worst thing that you can do is get to a place in life where you've reached success
Hmm.
and you start thinking that you're too good to keep learning or to ask questions and be curious, etc., etc. So yeah, never stop learning because you aren't really, you know, Charlie Munger says you really aren't going to get far in life by what you already know, right?
Hmm.
There's so many things that you don't know, you don't know, and I think those are the things that we all should be trying to, you know, learn, or the things that we don't even know we know. So
Love it, man. Where did you start over there? Where did you start becoming this student of life?
reading, yeah,
What?
reading and obviously YouTube content. You know,
Mhm.
we live in a day and age where literally there's so much free information out there, so there's literally no excuse. But books for sure are probably my favorite because there are authors that are no longer around, and the only way you can learn from them is, you know, through books. I think reading is like the closest thing to downloading somebody's brain in a
Mhm.
couple of hours. You know, you read one book from somebody and you're basically stealing all that person's life experience and downloaded it into your brain for what, a couple bucks in a couple of hours, couple of days, weeks, however long you take to read.
Love it, man. What's your favorite book?
That's a good question. As of now, I think it's gonna change, but as of now, I think is Poor Charlie's Almanac by Charlie Munger. He's a billionaire. But I'm reading this book right now, The Way of the Superior Man. I told you about it. It's a
Yeah.
really good book too.
Hmm.
For a guy that's trying to get more masculine, understand feminine energy and all these different things. I think it's an amazing book. It's definitely I'm starting to like put it up there in the top five.
Hmm. I love it, man. Where do you think someone starts? Through books?
I would definitely avoid all these popular brands that you see in Barnes and Noble because they're just trying to sell you something. And the thing about reading is that you have to be picky on what book you read and what you allow into your brain because most books are 90% stories or 95% stories and 5% golden nuggets. And I always say this, you know, when you read, you don't have to read a full book from start
Yeah.
to finish. You know, you
I,
just go.
I remember when you were talking about that you used to upload a book every single week through your newsletter, correct?
Right.
And that's where you learned that?
Right. No, yeah. When I first started reading, I learned this because I also used to have trouble with reading and taking so long to finish a book. Then I realized, like, bro, like I already learned what I learned and I was
Mhm.
still on chapter 4. Why am I still reading the book? Like I already got I already got what I came here for, you know? And that's, excuse me, that's what you have to realize with a lot of books. As far as where to start, I mean, like, bro, there's a lot of uh famous books that you can start with. How to Win Friends, Influence People, Think and Grow Rich, The Way of the Superior Man. Just start. I think that's the most important thing. Just start.
I love it, man. I want to touch on a very important topic for you, man. Masculinity. You've
Yeah,
talked about
I'm still learning.
yeah, you've talked about this topic going through a lot of problems nowadays. What is it going through?
The world.
Masculinity.
I think masculinity is being beat up. I
Mm,
think it's being shamed. I think it's being kind of shot down, and it's not respected as much as it used to be, which is no surprise that the world is kind of going the way it is. You know, there's a good quote, right? I can never memorize the exact quote, but it says something like "weak men create, strong men create good times, weak men," something like that. And I think that's what we're experiencing right now. There's a lot of like feminized and weak men, and violence is all the way up.
mhm. Why do you think
Everything.
it's happening?
Why?
Yeah,
It's a good question. I think I think it's a bigger agenda than just why. I think we're just trying to like. I think the people above that are spreading this message, they're just trying to keep us controlled.
of course.
I think that's the why is happening. Who? I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a question for another day. But
that's the question of the century, man.
I
Crazy world.
think the woke movement, the feminists,
Everything, all of these agendas. Yeah.
all these things that are like being pushed upon us is
Mhm.
kind of. I always say the modern world is a scam. Like literally all of it: the water, the food, the
Where
everything.
when when did you become conscious? When did this realization appear in your mind? When did you figure out that this is what the world was going through and that you needed to go, you needed to double down on masculinity?
Um, I've always been a person that I've always been very disagreeable and very unconventional. So if somebody's doing something, I kind of go the other way. I've never been a person that does what's popular. Like it just never called my name. I just never had the voice to speak on it. Now I feel like I'm uh finding my way and actually touching on all these topics. I have the courage to speak on it. But I've always been like that. I've always questioned things like, bro, why do people say this? Why are I
Yeah.
used to question mental health a lot, right? This is a controversial one. And obviously mental health is real. I'm not gonna say it's not real.
Hmm.
But I always used to say, like, bro, why are people going so hard on social media about mental health? Like, are you just trying to get attention? Or are you just trying to like just relax, bro? Like you
Yeah.
don't have to go so crazy about it. So I've always been like that. Now I just have the courage to speak on it, I guess, and not care about how people view me or who disagrees with me. That's another thing about having high testosterone as well. One of the benefits and things of having high T is you become less controllable. You become more disagreeable.
Hmm.
And the reason that they want T levels so low, which is why it's so low, is because they get to control you. If you have high T levels, you're not easily controlled. You do what you want to do. That's the true essence of a masculine, high testosterone guy. So
Of course, that's maybe one of the reasons why your testosterone is also high.
yeah, my testosterone is not super super high. Last time I tested it, it was at 665,
Hmm.
which is above average in today's world. But my goal is to get it to 800, 900 plus. Our ancestors had like 1,000 plus
Of course.
testosterone
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah.
So
What's crazy is the average nowadays is 400, which is
yeah, exactly.
extremely low.
Extremely low.
Mhm.
That's crazy. That's literally no offense. That's literally like being a woman, bro.
You've talked about the importance of a man becoming a modern day gentleman.
Yep.
Why is it important? Or how is it important?
Good question. I think becoming a modern day gentleman right now matters now more than ever because it means you become the hero of yourself. It means you become the hero of everyone around you, and you can only really break free of the chains that's keeping you locked from the modern world by becoming a gentleman. And like I explained in the video, it's not just about, like, we all know the basics, right? Becoming a modern day gentleman, and that's being fit, having a good body, having freedom, true wealth, having a strong network, clothing, knowing how to speak, knowing how to dress, etc., etc. But you also have to have certain characteristic traits
The
internally
the
to,
famous seven characteristic traits, correct?
right. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's very, very important to become a modern day gentleman. It's very hard. It's a long journey, but that's the game of life. That's why you shouldn't be playing video games. And instead of improving your character in a video game, you should be improving your character in real life.
Lovely line. Love it, man. Talk to me about the seven characteristic traits.
Yeah, so it's honesty, being honest, man. It's consistency. I go into more depth in the video, but I just to keep it short, honesty. You have to be an honest man. Righteousness, be a fair man. Don't be weak. Do the right thing even when you have a chance to not get caught. God is always watching, and you want to make him proud by the choices that you make. Courage, doing the hard things, doing the things that you're scared of, especially when you're scared. As a man, you have to be able to do this.
Mm.
Uh, Honor, be an honorable man. That's pretty simple.
Mhm.
Respect, as a man, you want it for respect. Respect yourself, respect your enemies, but and just respect everybody in general. That's number 5. What am I missing? I'm missing 2. Number 6. Can't remember the other 2.
That's
So
fine.
it's righteousness, honor, respect, consistency. Yeah, I can't remember the other 2, but in the video I go over the 7, and these are 7 that I'm still practicing. I'm still learning, and I'm still like trying to master on a daily basis. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Love it, man. Love it. Jordy, so I want to talk about a couple of tweets or Instagram stories posts that you've posted before. I want to break them down. I'm gonna get
Hmm.
started with you tweeted an image that's pinned to your profile that went viral. It's a comparison of a beach in the 1970s and in 2021. The caption was what went wrong. Why did you decide to post that, and what do you think that went wrong?
I was just surprised. That was actually the first time I seen a picture like that, and it's true because when I go to the beach now, it's that's exactly how it is. That's
Yeah.
the image.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, I was just surprised that that's actually how it is, and it wasn't far off. As far as what went wrong, um, I think the food pyramid went wrong. I think sedentary lifestyles went wrong.
Mhm.
People don't move around as much anymore. And I think a lot of agendas that are being pushed now went wrong as far as avoiding the sun and all these different things. Eat seed oils and vegetables are good and red meat is not bad. Everything that we're doing now is totally the opposite of what we used to do before. And
Yeah.
it's like before we were healthy when we were eating red meat and fruit and all these things. Now we're eating vegetables and oatmeal and we're not healthy. So clearly something is wrong.
So the
Oatmeal's a big one, right? I know a lot of people that's gonna watch this eat oatmeal.
I'm a big hater of oatmeal myself. I have a post on Instagram where I talk about, of all the damages the defense chemicals like phytic acid or saponins do to your body from eating oatmeal. Not only
Yep.
that, there's no taste to oatmeal. It's
Literally
terrible.
no taste to it.
It's disgusting. And if even if you make something good out of it, it's still some disgusting mush. I can't deal with it. Oh
100%. I'm an oatmeal hater too, as well.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy because I used to eat it all the time.
Yeah. You have an IG post that says, never hide your weirdest and most envisioned parts of you. Fuck what people think. Own your weirdest parts unapologetically and inspire others too as well. Talk to me about this. Why?
I
Do you relate to the post, or if so, how?
100% I relate to it. I've always been the unconventional one in the family, and I think every family deserves a black sheep that
Mm,
just kind of a total nut job that's crazy and that has all these conspiracy theories that sees life a different way than everybody else. Because those are usually the people that are crazy enough to do what people think they're crazy
Mhm.
doing, right? Steve Jobs has that famous quote, "You're only crazy until you actually do it." And I think really being able to experience the true essence of life in general, you have to be crazy. Like, especially now in the modern world, everything is so upside down. You have to be crazy to be healthy in the modern world. You have to be not normal to have a good life in the modern world. So yeah, I think every family deserves that black sheep that's just crazy and has all these conspiracy theories.
It's
As
just
far as
different. I love it.
yeah, just be completely different, right?
Mhm.
Every family needs it, and that should
Of
be you.
course.
That should be you. That was the whole background, and that was the whole goal for that post.
Love it, man. Just be you. I adore that post. You
Yeah, because also you don't know who you're inspiring to come out of there.
exactly. You've talked so much about casual sex. Why
Mhm.
is this such a big no-no?
I think so. You know, a band aid, when you put a band aid on a hand, like
Mhm.
it's a fresh new band aid, it sticks really well, right? The more you take it off, you put it back, it sticks, but it sticks less. It sticks less and less and less every time.
Yeah.
And that's casual sex. The
Mm.
more partners you have, and the more partners you engage with, not really in an intimate way, you start losing your soul and pieces of your soul with every partner. You know,
Mm.
pair bonding is a real thing, right? I think there's a statistic that says women with more than, I think, 7 or 8 sexual partners are more likely to have a divorce, like 80% more likely to divorce when they're married, which is insane. 80%, that's crazy. You're only 20% successful if you have more than whatever partners.
Mhm.
So pair bonding is a real thing. I think casual sex is degeneracy. You know,
Mm.
the Bible was right. Traditional values was right. Sex should be sacred. Sex should be something to experience with a partner that you're intimate with, and not just these meaningless and there's just meaningless sex, right? Meaningless sex. It damages your ability to bond, damages your ability to trust. You're not able to really feel something with the current partner that you're in. Andrew Tate, right? Are you a
Of
fan of
course.
Andrew Tate? Top
Mhm.
G.
Yeah.
He says one of the most beautiful um one of the most beautiful traits in a woman is innocence, right? Knowing that a woman hasn't done a lot of things, and you can come in and show her all these different things, because all these different things that you're showing her is new, and newness brings excitement, right? But if you
Mm.
have a woman that has been through breakups,
Mm.
broken hearts,
Mhm.
all these different things, it's going to be so hard to keep her. It's going to be so hard to impress her. It's going to be so hard to excite her, which causes later on down the line to lose feelings, cheating, all these different things. And I think casual sex is a main reason for that.
It's a big scam.
It's a hard one, though. It's a hard one, especially for guys that can't control their energy. Bro, we're all trying. It's hard, though. It's a very, very hard one. Out of all the things that I talk about and all the things that I preach, I think that's one of the hardest ones for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. It's everywhere in your feed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, bro. All these applications, Instagram, TikTok, is literally soft porn.
Mhm. Yeah. JT, there's a story you released on Instagram, which is kind of like a long one. It's a red title. I'll read it for you. Modern society is nuking men's balls. Here's what to do: stop consuming seed oils, avoid receipts, plastics, cosmetics, fragrances, get your girl off of birth control. No
Yep.
polyester underwear, no
Yep.
pesticides, stop drinking tap water because it's birth control. Stop putting phone in pocket, no weed, no vapes, no sitting for more than 4 hours straight. Keep your body fat percentage low, and you need to save men balls or the next generation is fucked. Talk to me about this post.
I think we have a fertility crisis going on.
Mm.
Couples can't conceive naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and um, sperm counts are at all-time lows. There's a statistic by a famous doctor. I can't remember her name, but she says that most people by 2045 are gonna be like they're I can't remember the exact thing that she says, but she says sperm counts are gonna be at like the lowest it's ever been. You're not gonna be able to conceive naturally at all by 2045. And I think it's because of all the, you know, all these things that the modern world is like pushing out, like all the things that I just said in that post.
Mhm.
It's something that I'm still digging into as well, because like, bro, the more I learn about disruptors and
The more
all,
crazier it gets.
yeah, all these different things, is like it's a rabbit hole that once you go in, you can never get out.
Hmm.
I think having kids, having children is the, you know, greatest achievement of human life, but you have to be able to have them by
Of course.
protecting your hormones, right? So huge topic,
Mhm.
huge topic. I think the testosterone pandemic and the fertility crisis is probably the thing that should be talked about the most, but it's not.
Mhm.
People aren't really talking about it. It's probably the biggest health crisis of the 21st century. Nobody's really talking about
Not all of these bullshit agendas. Something real.
it. It's very, very real. It's like, bro, I mean, but it's also the whole agenda of feminism is independency. It's
Hmm.
not being a mother, you know? So it's like, why would they care about sperm counts and all these things?
Yeah, love it, man. There's another topic you rant about a lot, both in your IG and your Twitter, about therapy being a big, big, big waste for men. Talk to me, man. Why is it such bullshit for men?
Bro, I got crucified for that tweet.
Oh my God, you've been attacked everywhere for those tweets. That anything that goes for therapy for men.
Bro, honestly, like, I'm just gonna keep it real with everybody that's watching this. If you're a guy, right, and you're not a feminine guy, you're a
Hmm.
masculine guy,
Yeah.
you are going to get more out of action than talking.
Mm.
Doing always beats talking. Talking is more for feminine woman and feminine whatever. The feminine is more for the feminine because they are emotional. They get more out of talking and voicing their feelings and
Mm.
have someone, you know, there to listen to them. But guys, we kind of just get up and do what we have to do, and that's kind of our therapy. For me, lifting is therapy. Reading, taking walks, whatever it is. It might be meditating for you.
The sun.
Sunlight, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of guys that when I posted that on Instagram, a lot of guys that are clearly more masculine, they agreed. They said
Mhm.
like, "Bro, I agree. Like, I've tried therapy, and talking to a fat random stranger on a couch doesn't really do anything to me because they
No.
don't care about your life, right? They
Yeah.
don't really. You're just a client to them.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's somebody to listen to you, right? But wouldn't you want to have a group of brothers that you know actually care about you, that will go to war with you, will cry with you, will hear you out, can relate to you, right? That's the most important thing, being able to relate to you.
Hmm.
So talking to, forming a network, a brotherhood is 100 times more important than therapy. At the end of the day, you have to understand how life works as a man. As a man, you are born with no value. Unlike women, you as a man, you can be a very beautiful man, right? Very attractive.
Hmm.
It's gonna fly you out to Dubai because you're attractive. Nobody's gonna respect you because you're attractive. A beautiful woman is gonna be in all the yachts in Dubai and Miami because she's beautiful. She's born with value. You are not. As a man, you have to build your character. You have to build whatever you want out of life.
Mm.
Nobody's gonna build for you. Nobody's gonna save you. Nobody's coming to save you. And
Yeah.
that's basically what, in my opinion, going to therapy is. It's a coping mechanism to think the
Mm.
therapist is gonna save you when they're not. So
Love it, man. To close this topic of questions, I want to hit you with the big one. What has been the biggest takeaway in your growth?
biggest takeaway. What do you mean by that?
What's the biggest thing or the most important thing you've learned from your growth?
That that's a good question, actually. Maybe learning that you never really know what you're capable of until you actually focus and put your mind to it.
Mm,
Your capability is like way deeper than what you think it is, or the expectations or where you set yourself to be.
mm.
It's way deeper than that. And I think doing certain things that I never saw myself doing just a couple years ago just is kind of amazing to see.
Yeah, love it, man. From that question, what brings you the most joy in your life?
That's a good question because I'm very I see this topic different. I don't really try to strive for happiness and
Mhm.
peace, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I get it.
I just wake up and kind of live the life. I know life is going to be hard, and I just kind of embrace it. For me, I think I found peace in suffering, and gym is suffering. Lifting weights, building muscle, that's suffering. So, as far as what brings me joy, I think learning brings me joy. I
Mm.
think sports, training brings me joy.
Maybe separating the mind from the body is the
Yeah.
answer.
So yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Also, family time. Talking to my parents and intimate moments that brings me joy.
Love it,
Yeah.
man. I want
Yeah,
to
for
hit
sure.
with the last bomb. What is one piece of advice from anything that you'd like to leave the people listening to this podcast?
You said it. Well, I said it in one of the posts. Whereas own all of your parts unapologetically and inspire others to do the same. But I'm just gonna go with what my brand is about, and that's bettering yourself so you can better the world. I
Mm,
think that's the biggest piece of advice that I can give. Just be better, bro. Be better. Try to be better and inspire others to do the same. That's how you better the world. And if you're somebody that don't care about bettering the world, then fine, by all means, do whatever you want to do. But as a masculine man, we all want to create impact. We all want to, you know, chase something that's or be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And that's how you do it.
love it, JT. Love it. That was amazing. Great way to kickstart my podcast. That was a beautiful conversation. I really appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you having me. This was really fun.
Love it, man. I'm hope to see you in a couple years for a round two on this podcast.
For sure. I'll probably come with more conspiracy theories.
Oh, I love it, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you having me, brother.